Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful evening with us on Live with Lloyd. I'm your host, astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn, on this Wednesday, the 21st of May of 2025. We are in a brand new zodiac sign as of today. So let's see. Okay. All righty. Everybody, thank you for joining us this evening. This is Palindrome week. I'll explain that in a moment. Palindrome, Palindrome, Palindrome. That's the week we're in. I'm going to explain it in a moment. Also, I'm going to be taking people who left their birthdays of their mom or dad, or parents from this past Monday. I'm going to read them from Audrey to Lady Liberty to Black God to Rhonda Cooper, Mayada, and a couple other people. I'll do that later. But before I get anything started, let me tell you it is sponsored by U-Juice. It's the Caribbean flavors are out of this world. All you got to do is go to LLoydStore.com. That's LIVETSTORE.com, LLoydStore.com, and order it. Also, we are being sponsored by Nicholas Brooklyn, celebrating just over 50 years. It's not well over, but 50 years, over 50 years of being in business. And they're at 1396 Fulton Street in Brooklyn. Just as for Monique or Cafunia, and you will get your services and did get a discount. And I mean, they show you mad love too. Also, Miss Kimberly with Manifest on Purpose, her podcast of Secrets Revealed, Weekly Wisdom, is on every week. You can catch it at KIMBALEY_. That's KIMBLAEY_. She also now has introduced another segment to her side of the things. It's a business astronumerology report. So if you want to get, let's say you're thinking of a business, have a business, and want to get an assessment, it is a complimentary assessment you get by simply going to KIMBALEY.com, as you see at the bottom of this, and just get a free assessment, okay, a complimentary assessment. And also, Nicholas Brooklyn, excuse me, not Nicholas Brooklyn, Numerologics, who is also sponsoring. And this evening, right after the show, she is having part 2. I don't know whether you saw part 1, but it was amazing, the breakdown. I'm glad I didn't try to do it. She really broke it down. So if you want to see the completion of part 2 that was aired Monday, you can see the latter part this evening at 8:30. Also, before we start, let me tell you this. It's like, share, and subscribe. I've got to get that right. I will not, Lloyd Strayhorn or the Live with Lloyd show will never, ever DM you for money. So I know they've got a lot of scams going on. Please don't go for that. Not from me. I don't ask people for money. I just don't do that. Not that I don't need it. Okay. Whatever the case is, but I don't solicit. It's normally 90% of what I do is normally referrals at this point. So very rarely do I have to ask somebody to do something. Okay. But anyway, it's Wednesday, May 21st of 2025. The sun is now in the sign of Gemini. The moon is in Pisces. It's still a 5 universal month, an 8 universal week, and an 8 universal day, which is excellent for business matters, this, that, and the other. But if you're a Capricorn, Aquarius, or Libra, or born on the 8th, the 17th, or the 26th of the month, well, this should be a very important day for you. This week actually started yesterday on the 20th. This is a palindrome week. What do I mean by say that? If you take the numbers yesterday, 5, 20, 25, and you reverse it, it's the same. So today, if you look at May 21st, 25, and reverse the numbers, it's the same. This is a reversal effect. For some reason, they give it that fancy name, but it just simply means when you flip something around. So let me give you an example right here, okay? So let me see how I did this. so I can get to the side. All righty, there we go. And so I'm going to enlarge this. As you can see, what I did, all I did was simply 5, 20, 25. And then if you reverse the order, it's 5, 20, 25. The same with the 21st, the 22nd, the 24th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, and 29th of this month. This is Palindrome week. This will be the only time this year for which you will see these numbers in reverse this week, okay? But not only that, in addition, so what I did was I went down the rabbit hole. See, I got really carried away. So I says, well, is there one for 2026 and 2027? And it turns out there is. In other words, if you look at next year on June the 20th, 26, and you reverse it 62026, you'll find it from June the 20th, 21st, 22nd, all the way down to June 29th. It will be a palindrome week for 2026. So then I really got carried away. I says, well, let me see if I can do this for 2027. And sure enough, on July 20th of 2027, and we're not there yet, you will find that week, when you reverse the numbers of the dates and reverse it, write it out, and then reverse it, it will be a palindrome week. These are weeks that rarely occur. And then I says, okay, let me see. And then, I really went down the rabbit hole to see if I can do this more. And I says, okay, what about the, here we have the 20, let me see, 20, 26, 27th, 28th, and, oh, let me see, is this it? Nope. This is it, I think. Well, the 28th, it should have been the 20. Okay, let me see. I left out something. I left out the ones for, I see. Oh, man. Anyway, let me take this off a second. In other words, though, there's also the palindrome week for, let me do this again. There's the palindrome week for 2028 and 2029. For on 2028, it starts 8, 20, 28. When you reverse it, it'll be the same. In 2029, it'll be 9, 20. I wonder I didn't put that on there. But anyway, hey, it happens. But the point is that this is a very, very rare week. Anytime you can flip something around, that is known as a palindrome. Okay? It's a fancy word. I don't know where they got it from. But anyway, this is for this week. And only is up to the 29th. All right, but now I wanted to show you, well, once I got past 28, 29, I says, well, what about next time? So in this case, if you look at it, the week for the futures, I got 21, January 2nd, 21 is reversed. January the 3rd, 21 is reversed. As you see, all of these numbers down to 2091. When reversed, it'll be the same thing. Now, what I did was, okay, so what about the centuries from the 2001 to all the way to 2090? There are only 10 dates. These are the following, but the difference is we're using all 4 numbers. So, for example, October is 10/02/2021. And if you look at the reverse, it's 10/02/2021. So that's, if you notice, they're all in the second day of the month for those centuries. And if you notice, folksies, hold on one second. Let me do this again. All righty. Let me put me over here where I can kind of see everybody. So if you look at it, they're all on the second day of the month in those centuries. But if you look at these here, it's always with a 2 or something. So it's always starting on the 20th. So there's something about the 2, maybe because we're in the 21st century of 2000. I have no idea, but I think it is very, very interesting. So then what I wanted to do was show you that there are palindromes in other aspects of life too. and there are palindrome words. So, for example, if you look, these are just some samples, kind of like radar, civic, peep, wow. In other words, is the letters, no matter how you spell it, if you spell it backwards, it's the same thing. Now, this is just a random sample. There may be some people that's out there that's got more words in this. They're believing they're a boatload of words, but this is what you called it, no matter whether you spell it going from the left to the right or the right to the left, you still get the same thing, from rotator to madam, whatever the case is. Then there are events. World War I was fought in 1914. World War II was fought in 1941. Mahatma Gandhi was assassinated in 1948. Indira Gandhi, a relative of his, was assassinated also in 1984. The book 1984, Big Brother, was written in 1948. Okay. Anwar Sadat of Egypt was born in 1918 and died at the Egyptian airport. He was assassinated, a coup attempt. Was a coup attempt because they did it. They assassinated him. He died in 1981. Marilyn Monroe was born in 1926, but died in 1962. And of course, Martin Luther King was assassinated on April the 4th of 1968. And in 1986, when you flipped it around, his name became a national holiday. What's so interesting, Martin Luther King was born on the 15th, 1 + 5 is 6. And the president who acknowledged it and signed off on it being a holiday was Ronald Wilson Reagan. 6 letters in his first name, 6 letters in his middle name, 6 letters in his last name, and born on the 6th of February. In fact, his wife Nancy was born on the 6th. When he won the election on November the 4th of 1980, he was at that time considered the oldest president to achieve that rank of being the president of the United States, and he was 69. Now you got presidents in their 70s going on 80s. So things have changed since 1980, that's for sure. But anyway, this is how this works. And anytime you can reverse it. Now, then I says, okay, let me go down the rabbit hole. And what I did was I then took years. Okay, let me knock this out, do this. I then took some years. For example, I says, what if a person was, now, I don't know what your birthdays are, the years, but I've got something for you. My theory is if you were born in 1959, in reversing it was 1995, an important year for you. What if a person was born in 1968? Was 1986 important to them? Or what about if a person was born in 1979? Was 1997 an important year for you? Or what if a person was born in 1989? Was that, when you flipped it around to 98, was that an important year for you? So now, what about the future that hasn't happened yet? So let's say you got somebody born in 2004. So will 2040, flipping those last two numbers around, be important? Or what about somebody born in 2005, which is 2050, 2006, which is 2060, 2007, which is 2070, 2008, which is 2080, or 2009, which is 2090? Will those years be important to them? I can't prove it, but what about somebody that's born in 2014? Well, does that mean that's going to be significant in 2041? Or what about somebody born in 2015? Will 2051 be important to them? Or somebody born in 2016, is that going to be important if you flip it around and make it 1961? Now, there's a difference, such as if, let's say somebody was born in 2020. Well, if you flip it around, it'll be 2002. Okay, so in fact, that does include, and I didn't include that, but if a person was born in 2002, flip it around, that means was 2020 important? If it was 2013, will 2031 be important? That's up the road. So these are questions for which none of us can really answer at this point. And then I went as far as, okay, 2017, that's 2071. If a person is born in 2018, that means you're going to have to wait till 1981. Or if a person is born in 2019, does that mean you got to wait till 2091 before something significant happens. And then what happens in the case where you got somebody born in 2011? Well, you flip it, you still got 2011. What about 2022? Same thing. What about 2033? Same thing. You can't. So those are the kind of things. How does that work like that? Or do they reach an age? But there is something very significant in the age you were born. If you, excuse me, the year you're born. If you took the year you're born, for example, let me see if I can do this right quick. If you take somebody's year, and what you do is, you know how some people have, let's say I will take a year, I'll take the year 1985, okay, 1985. So what happens is you take the year you're born, get a pen and paper, try this out yourself. You take the year you were born, in this case, I'm taking an example, 1985. 1985 adds to 23. So if I take 1985 and add the 23, that would give me 8002. That means this, so excuse the tackiness, but the point is that if you look at it, it would turn to 2008. So in other words, what you do is you take the year, which adds up to 23, you add 23 to the year that's born. So that means, and this, I like this technique because it means that some people can remember age better. Some people can remember year. This technique does it both, okay? So as you see, they were 23 at that year, but that should have been the year of 2008. So that was very important for them a couple of years ago. So try for yourself. More than likely that when you could have graduated, got married, went to school, did this, the other, a ton of things you could have done. So again, you take the year you were born, add it across. So if you took, let me do this one. Let's see. I'll take 19. Let me see. I'll take 2022. Somebody that's born this year. Okay. So 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So that's 6. So then this is what I would get. I know that in 2008, when this person is 6 years old, that would be significant. For example, the person born in this year is 6 years old. They may have moved. They're going to school or something significant because at 6 years old, they have no control over their affairs. They're dependent upon either some foster care, parental care, some kind of care other than their own. What does a 6-year-old know? So it tells me that that would be a very important time for them. So let's say if you got somebody born in 2025, right? So that would be a 9. You take that. And that tells me in 2034, when the person is 9 years old, that's going to be a very significant year for them. So take your ages. You know what I'm saying? I don't care if you was born in 1940, whatever, you take that year. So let's see, show you what I mean. I'll do one more. Let's say you took somebody who was born in, I'll do 1954, okay? So that meant if I take 1954, that adds to 19, 3, 7. That tells me when the person was age 19 or in 1973, that was a very important year for them. Then what you do is you take the next step. You see the 1973? Well, that adds up to 20. So then the next important part of their life should have been around the year 1993 when they were 39 years old. And you continue the process. That's all you got to do. So take your age that you were born, the year you were born, then you add it up. And then whatever that number is, you add the total of that year. In this case, as you see, 1954 adds to 19. So 1954 plus 19 adds up to 1973. Then you take 1973, which adds a 20. And so you add 20 to 1973 that gives you the year 1993, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know where I got this from, but it seems to work. And so there's some of you who can remember your year. Some of you can remember your age. This technique allows you to know not only the year of the occurrence, but at the age you were at the time, whether it's getting married, going to school, having a child, doing this, career, whatever the case is. Normally they represent milestones, okay? So these are some of the things that I wanted to kind of deal with this palindrome week that we're in. So all this week, and it simply means wherever the number's going across for the dates, it is going backwards when you do it that way too. All right, so now let me start with, before I take these, go to, oh, and by the way, let me say this. You know, I can't fit everybody in because of time limitations, but what I can do is, so somebody actually was one of the people in the comment section that says, well, you know, because I said, well, maybe I should have a group session where you can come into the room. It'll be on a Zoom. And then this way we can really meet each other face to face, symbolically via video, of course. And I can answer all your questions without interruptions of the time. I was figuring how many people I could take into a room. It'll just be really just 10 at the most. That way, I mean, like 100, but I couldn't try to answer everybody's questions, that many questions in such a short time. So I've decided to take only 10. So what you do is you can click on the barcode at the upper right-hand corner of the promo here and just sign up the first 10. And if so, I'll do this each month. So if you can't get in this month, you can get in next month. So each month I will start this. Ask me anything. Now, anything that I can intelligently answer, okay? Let me tell you this. Strayhorn don't know everything. I know quite a bit, but I don't know everything. That which I think I can answer intelligently, I will. Because for me, if I'm answering you, if it don't make sense to me, I know it's not going to make sense to you. Well, that is because of my New York upbringing. It's like, okay, yeah, so you this, what does that mean? So I've gotten to that habit. When I say something, it has to make sense when I talk to people. So I'd like you to join me. It'll be on June the 3rd in another 2 weeks. And just welcome to the room. It'll be a first come, first served basis. For those that don't get in, if it's past 10 and you got, then put it on reserve for the following month, which would be in July, then August, September, October, as long as it lasts. But this way I can answer all the questions without having to rush through, yeah, your numbers, this, that, and the other. You know, I have to do a kind of a quick assessment because there's so many people. Like there's 74 comments I'm looking at right now. And so what I'm going to do before I start with that is, now this is my girl here, Monique. Hi, Monique. That's one of my favorites. And she's got the most beautiful daughter, Nicole, who's an Aries. She is something else. She is just as smart as she wants to. Okay, Aubrey's born on March the 26th. These are the comments from last week, okay? And so I just took some. Aubrey's born on, that's interesting, Nicole's birthday, which is Monique's daughter, March the 26th. So that makes you an Aries 9 person. Your mother was born, let me slow down. Your numbers are the 8, 9, and 6, Aubrey, okay? Your mother's numbers is 9, 23. So she's a Libra 5 person. Her numbers are the 5, 6, and 9. So I'm looking at, you got 2 of your mother's numbers, which is the 9 and the 6. Now, though you don't have your father's, what it tells me is out of 3 of your mother's numbers, 3 of your numbers, you got 2. So I would say you would definitely lean toward the mother on that side. To Ali Bay, is born March the 24th, okay? Your numbers are the 6, 9, and 3, being an Aries 6 person. Your mom is born on July 28th, which is a Leo. So her numbers are 1, 4, 9. So the common denominator you have with your mother is the number 9. So because I don't have the father's birthday, I can't make an assessment. So that means you might look a little bit like your mom, act like it, but you might look more like the father, whatever the case may be. Then I have Lady Liberty. Um, she was born on October the 8th of 81. Her mother is born on October the 8th of 57, and her dad is born on November 19th. So let's start with your dad. Your dad is 149. You and your mom's numbers are the 8, 6, and 3. I'm going to say, girl, you look just like your mother, okay? Go to family reunion and say, girl, where your mother at? How your mother doing? You looking like your mother. You know, one of the things about our people, boy, when you go to family reunions, them elders will really call it out. You look like this. You remind me of so-and-so. And especially when they haven't seen you in a while. But you got all the makings of your mother. So here's the irony. Let's say you look like your father. But everything in terms of your temperament, your disposition, your mannerisms, the way your finesse, the way you move will be like your mother. Okay? And so let's say you saw your father. He said, girl, you know, you just like your mother. Although you looking just like him. But your whole mannerism, because I'm seeing the way the numbers work, you got all your mother's numbers. For Black God, they're born on June the 17th, which means your numbers are the 8, 6, and 5. Your mom is born on December the 12th, April the 12th. That means your mother's numbers are the 3, 9, and 6. So you have the 6 in common with your mother. Your father, though, is born October the 31st. So his numbers are the 4, 1, and 9. So you got your own set of numbers because your numbers are the 8, 5, and 6. Well, you got 6 from your mother. Her numbers are the 3, 9, and 6. And you have none of your dad's numbers. So I would say you slightly lean to him. Now, for those of you who are smart Alex, you know how they used to have that saying as mother's baby, father's maybe. I ain't talking about that. That ain't none of my business. I'm saying that this is something that I've noticed that this will explain why one parent will fuss at one child more than the other child. And the child they fuss at the most don't seem to have their numbers as the one that's got practically all their numbers. Those are the ones that just get away with murder, as they say. Okay. So these are things I've noticed over the decades of doing this and reading so many people. So this is something I want to bring to people's, attention, to be more conscious of people. Not only just your mom and dad, but your offsprings, your children. Which closer do you look like, your brother or your sister? Who do you behave like, or whatever the case is? All right. So Rhonda Cooper, and the only thing about Rhonda Cooper is she didn't give her birthday. At least I didn't see it. But her mom is born on August the 30th, which means she's a Scorpio. No, excuse me. She's a Virgo 3 person, which means her numbers are the 3, 6, and 5. And her dad is born on July 23rd, which means his numbers are the 5, the 1, and 4. So since 5 is a common denominator between you and your mom, Rhonda, you can be a Gemini, which rules 5, or a Virgo that rules 5, or in fact born on the 5th, the 14th, or the 23rd of the month. See, so the beauty I like about what I do is it makes you play detective role, where you use what is called the power of deduction, detective work and stuff like that. It makes you do your research. Mayata, Miata, I hope I'm saying your name correctly. She is born on the 1st of November, which is a 149. Your mom is born on the 12th of June, which means her numbers are the 3, 6, and 5. You have none of your mother's numbers in that sense. Now, you could look like your mother, maybe some habits, but need to know the father. And I bet so you probably may have your father's birthday. When I go to Mr. VIP 317, you're born on January the 12th, which means your numbers are the 8, 3, and 6. Your mother's numbers, she's born on April the 20th. Her numbers are the 2, 7, and 6. So one of the things I see, you are an earth sign, your mom is an earth sign, you have a 6 as a common denominator, okay? That's what I'm seeing. For Aries, they're born on April 7th, because Aries is one of our regulars. She's born on April 7th. Her numbers are the 7, 2, and 6. Her mom is born on December 7th. Her numbers are the 7, 2, and 3. And your dad's numbers are May 20th. He just had a birthday yesterday. His numbers are the 2, 7, and 6. So I would say this is a toss-up because first of all, you got all three of your father's numbers, but in a different order. Your numbers are the 7, 2, and 6. His numbers are the 2, 7, and 6. So it's like looking at a mirror, so to speak. And yet your mother has the numbers 2, 7, and 3. Now, here's what I'm saying, that I would say there have been point in time where they say, Gary, you look like your mom. Hey, you looking like your dad. But the fact that you have all three of your father's numbers, I'm going to roll the dice and say, I'd say you slightly favor more your father in terms of either looks or disposition. But in a way, kind of look exactly like your mother because you're born on the 7 and she's born on the 7. So it's a close call. But I would still hedge with your father. So Mama Love, she's born on March the 7th. Her mother is born on, your numbers, by the way, March 7th. Mama Love is always the 7, 2, and 3. Your mom is born September 29th. Her numbers are the 2, 7, and 6. And your dad is born on January the 24th. His numbers are the 6, 2, and 7. So here it is. You got, well, in case of both your parents, you got the 2 and the 7. But since your mother's born on the 29th, there's a 2, the 7 and the 2. Those are moon numbers. And your mother's born on the 2 and the 7. So I would say you favor more your mother. Okay, that's what I'm going to say. That's what I'll do like that. And then finally, there's Marjorie Boss, who was born on March the 21st. Her numbers are the 3, 9, and 6. Your mother's numbers are August the 10th. So I know your mother don't play. Her numbers are the 1, 4, 9. And your dad's numbers is September the 15th. His numbers are the 6, 5, and 9. So you have 2 of your father's numbers, Marjorie Boss. So, and 1 of your mother's. So I would say you would slightly favor your father. All this is research. And by the way, I'd like your comments. You know what I'm saying? On whatever. Just make comments and whatnot, and we'll go from there. All righty. But I do want to thank you. I need to kind of go back a bit. And for those of you, by the way, sometimes I know you like to make donations, which is much appreciated. But I only have one condition. Do not donate unless I call you, because some will take it that I've had a few, and I think they might be new. They don't understand how I roll on this show. I normally don't ask. I know I don't ask for donations, and because I get so many people, which is why I start this group thing starting next month in June, to answer all your questions. So if I miss it, and this is why only after the show I'll check everything to see who I didn't answer yet. And also put in the comments what ideas you'd like to see. Hey, Lord, would you like to talk about this? Or would you like to talk about that? Because I've got so many things in my head that like today was just a pure accident about this Palindrome week. And I went westward. I went, okay, well, what about 2026 and 2027, 2028, 29? What about for the whole 21st century? Okay. So it's like I enjoy this. I really enjoy this. And at the same time, while I research, I learn. And in the process of learning, I like to share. So all of you know that all of y'all are divinely special. And I do want to thank Empress Rel, who is always one of the best, who covers as moderator for me on every Wednesday. Okay. And Jazz Aphrodite on a Monday. Okay. This is Numerology. Thank you. She's going to have her assessment of Malcolm X at 8:30, part 2. I saw the first one, Malcolm X 1. I says, I'm glad I didn't, because she really went down the rabbit hole, but she's a number 2. And if you know the nature of a 2, they're very, very detailed. Okay. So I put it a broad stroke. She really got into the weeds with that. It was amazing. It was amazing. Okay. Okay. And Kyla, I'm grateful for you to be here too. All right. I enjoy everybody. I really do. Maybe one day I'll do a marathon, but the best way is kind of like question, LLoyd, 912. What would that be an 11 life path? Okay. So that tells me that what they did, okay, with my notes, they probably, now I'm going to tell you how I look for an 11 or 22. Okay. 1997. Yep. 18102. Yep. In your case, you'd be an 11. In your case, you would be an 11, yes. See, the beauty of what I do is you can do the math yourself. Now, there are several ways in which people try to go for an 11. This is one. They'll say 9, 2, 8. I'm writing all crooked. You'll have to forgive me. Let me see. Yeah. 9, 7, 8. So that would be 20. Oh, you know what I did? I got it. That's a 3. Sorry, it's a 3. So they would say, okay, now this would add up to a 20 this way. Okay. It would be up to 20. That's it. There's another way that people do it, which is this way, which is, okay, 9 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 9 plus 9 plus 7. That's 26, 36, 37, 38. That would be 38, and that would equal 11. This is another way of how people do it. They just work across the board. 1, 9 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 9 plus 9 plus 7. Okay. But the proper way to do it is this way, to see if you are really a master number 11 or master number 22. And in this case, you are correct. So therefore, born on Barry White's birthday, bless his soul, who I had the pleasure of meeting. And he was into numerology too, by the way. And he got my book. I was so honored. Like, Barry, you like this? Okay. I autographed the book to him. But anyway, this year is very important for you because the year is, you're in a 3 personal year, which is in alignment with your 12th birthday, which is a 3. So that means this year to be busy, expansive. And your lucky numbers, by the way, are the 3, the 6, and the 5 in that order. But yes, you are. Okay. And let's see. Alrighty. Hi, Sean West. She's going to be on my show the last Wednesday and Friday. She's a numerologist. She's an astronumerologist, but her style of doing things is totally, totally different. And then I'm going to have also Queen B on from analytics too. And here's Melanated. Thanks so much, Melanated, as always. I hope y'all don't feel like y'all got to do this every week, but it's nice and I try to acknowledge it. Okay. Okay. Yeah, VIP. Oh, wow. I don't know what that means. I've read you where my notes at. Okay, Mr. VIP, January the 12th, and your mother is born on April the 20th. So I don't know what oh wow means, but I hope that's a good oh wow. Okay. Like, oh wow, you don't know what you're talking about, brother. Okay. I can get those too. Anyway, I try to do my best. Okay. Now, my moderator needs 32 people to hit the button. All right. So you got about 20 minutes before the show is over. And that's the main thing. And as for you, what should you expect this week? Well, first of all, you're in a 4 personal year. And so 4 plus the 5th calendar month is a 9. You're in a 9-month and you're in a 4-week. So this is a week to take it easy, waste not, want not, lend not, borrow not, watch your health, watch your diet, and make sure you stay within the parameters and allow for some unexpected moves as you go into the month of June, where you'll be in a 5 personal month, which means more in a change is going to come about. Okay. And need to avoid scandals too. Okay. So, okay, let me see. This person, okay, they're born 5/15. This is Mariah. She says, I don't get along with someone who has my sister's sign, which is a Scorpio, but I noticed in numerology we have the same numbers. How does that work? I don't quite understand because you didn't give the birthday of the other person where it could make sense to me. But what happens is in numerology, not only does it deal with your birthday, it also deals with your name. So she could have a name that adds up to a number 4, which would then go against your birthday. All right. But what you said, see, here's the thing. You said it has my sister's sign, which is Scorpio. But do they have on what particular date? I will say this. The opposition sign to Taurus, your sign is Scorpio, their sign. So that makes sense. In terms of the polarity, astrologically 180 degrees apart. So in that way, I know. But I'm just at a loss for what the exact date of birth would be, because that would modify it too. And maybe that would, because There are opposition signs. Each zodiac sign has their polarity to it. And so the polarity to Taurus is Scorpio, and the polarity to Scorpio is Taurus. Okay. So, and then yet there's some who get along great. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Is this a good week to manifest? Yes. Why do I say that? Because beginning on tomorrow, on the 22nd, we will be in a 9 personal week. How did I do that? First of all, I determined the year 2025. 2025, the year of the 9, added to the 5th calendar month, which is May, is 14, and 1 plus 4 is 5. Then, because each month is divided into 4 weeks, 5 plus the last week we're going, and 9 always represents dreams come true. It always represents endings of some kind. And it also possibility of planning a long distance trip, whether you actually go now or whatever the case is. So that's what I see, Lacey. Okay. All right. So your birthday Saturn kid is tomorrow. All right. You would be a borderline case. It has nothing to do with your mental state of mind. Although force can get moody sometimes, to be honest with you. But your numbers, first of all, your numbers are the 4, 1, and 5. Okay. You are an air sign with an air number, which means you're always in your head. It simply means you like to think outside the box. And it's so interesting you call yourself Saturn. I don't know why. Maybe because your ascendant could be in Capricorn or Aquarius, or your rising could be in Capricorn or Aquarius, which is ruled by Saturn. Or let me see the year you were born in. So you were born in the year of the 5, so that's not it. It tells me you walked probably before you were 1 year old. And I would say you tend to be misunderstood. And you happen to be in the 9 personal year this year too, which is a good year to clean house. And but your key number is always the 4, 1, and 5, and your best days are always on a Sunday, a Monday, and a Wednesday. All righty. So listen, folks, I'm telling you, for those that I can't get to, sign up for the group. Hold up, sign up, and just be a part of it, so I can, because I feel so rushed because there's so many of you. And man, if I had my way, I'd try to answer everybody, but we'd be here for a couple of hours. So I'm going to limit it to just 10. I says maybe between 10 and 13. And I says, no, I'm going to do 10 only because I want to make sure that I'm answering everybody's questions who come into the room to the best of satisfaction. You can ask me anything. Now, here's what I'm not going to answer. Lloyd, how long I'm going to live? I don't go there. That's the man upstairs. That's his job, okay? I'm not going to play God with that. How long I'm going to live, when I'm going to die. And I've been asked these questions too. And even if I know, it ain't my business, nor is it yours. Your purpose, instead of worrying about when you're going to transition, is to focus on what you need to do on this plane every time you get up in the morning. Like, start by counting your blessings, okay? That helps. And so no matter how stressed the day is, the fact you live for another day, because just as we woke up, there are several people who did not wake up at all. And when you begin to look at it in that sense, you begin to stop having these pity parties we all have. I've been through it too, okay? And begin to put that aside so you can live your life to the fullest as much as humanly possible, okay? Now, I'll leave it at that. All righty, okay. Secretly gifted. You were to be a Gemini 2 person. So that means your most important numbers are the 2, 7, and 5. Mondays and Wednesdays are your best days. And this is a year of maturity. This is a year to connect with the ancestors, only because you're in an 8 personal year, which deals with people from your past and events from the past. It brings about a lot of people, such as funerals and weddings and christenings and baby showers and things of that nature. And the fact that at this point, looking at the cycle that you're in right now, for May, that we're about to wrap up, this should have been a very busy or expansive or entertaining year for you. And as we go into your birthday month of June, because you're in your critical 52 day before your birthday cycle, it means that to enter it and make sure you get a healthy checkup and stuff like that. And when you go, especially for 2 and 8 people, for also Capricorns and Aquarians who tend to be misdiagnosed, those 2 signs and those 2 dates of birth, such as the 4th, the 8th, the 13th, the 17th, the 22nd, the 26th, the 31st, you should always get an examination. And let me tell you, I'm not trying to take the medical profession. I know they're real sensitive with all that money they got. Okay, I'm just a little old fish in a big old ocean. Okay, but you should go for proper diagnosis when the moon is in a cardinal sign. What do I mean? Either when the moon is in the sign of Aries, which is spring, Cancer, which is summer, Libra, which is fall, or Capricorn, which is winter. Okay? All you got to do is look up the moon book for the day. All you got to do is go to Google, where's the moon at today, and schedule your appointments accordingly. Or say to Google, when will the moon for the month of May be in the sign of one of the cardinal signs? And that's when you set up your appointment. That's when you're likely to get the best diagnosis for people who are 4s and 8s, Capricorns and Aquarians. Okay? That's all. All right. Okay. Believe me, I'm not trying to play doctor, and I hope the medical profession doesn't get uptight because it's not that serious. Okay? It's really not. Okay. Let me see. Let me see. Oops. Let me take this aside. Okay. So those are your numbers, and you're in an 8 personal year. Okay. Sue Hayes, she said she was wondering how name affects this year. For me, it is more or less important than my birthday. No, the birthday is always important, Sue. I don't care how you do it. Because, see, your name can change. Blake could be a married name. Blake could be a foster name. Blake could be a name that you decide, well, you know, I don't want to be called this anymore. I want to be referred to as what you call it, whatever that name may be. So where the birthday indicates what you're here to learn, the name indicates what you're here to know. So when I did this, this is what I get from, now I'm using what is called, hold on, 10, 13, okay. This is what I did right quick, Sue. This is your name under the Chaldean system. There are 2 systems, but the one I prefer is the Chaldean. That's older than the 2. It rules mystic numerology. But as you see, your first name, Sue, adds up to 14, which tells me one of your parents could either be, now you might have been Suzanne, and they call you Sue, but the name Sue would draw Geminis and Virgos to you, or anybody born on the 5th, the 14th, or the 23rd of the month. But because it adds up to a total of 9, that draws Aries, Scorpios, and Leos to you, or anyone born on the 9th, the 18th, or the 27th of the month. And it would tell me you have all these youthful numbers, so I know you don't look or act or feel your age either, Sue, because you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 2, 4, 6, 8. So 5 out of 8 of your letters in your name are falling in the youthful category. So either you don't look or act or feel your age, Sue. That's it. I can't do everybody's name, so please don't do that. Sue just got that. Okay. But what she wants to know is it more or less important than the birthday? No, your birthday is the most important factor, period. Okay. Because you can change your name, but the only thing you can do about your birthday is fib about it. Okay. All right. So why you think when they ask you for stuff, they ask you, can you give your birthday? Okay. You can say Sue Blake. There could be countless Sue Blakes. Okay. Whatever the case may be. But then all those Sue Blakes don't have that month, the day, and the year you were born. Okay. All right. And okay. This is a Starry Jones, February the 4th. Okay. So your numbers are, now this is a double Aquarius because for each number rules a zodiac sign, and each number has a natural home around the wheel. So the number 4's natural home is in the sign of Aquarius, primarily next Leo. And if it's the 3rd place, it should be in Gemini. So your numbers are the 4, 1, and 5. It means that Sunday of all the days out of 7 is best, followed by Monday, followed by Wednesday. And you happen to be in a 6 personal year, which is challenging for you. And in fact, I'm going to be doing something that's going to be coming out in a day or two about P. Diddy, who's also in a 6 personal year. 4 is his major opposition number. And I'm going to be talking about his 4 and 8, him and Cassie. She was an 8, he was a 4, and a couple other things. But that'll be out probably by another couple of days. I'm going to record it probably at some point tomorrow, and also his hands too. I took a look at his hand, and that's the result of me just finishing a successful palmistry course. And I'll tell you what I see from the hand that I've got. But anyway, so your numbers are, so you're in the 6th year. So this is a good year to maybe do your hair, make sure you stay on top of your health, get some exercise in, get a family involvement, And although despite your age, this is a country that's very myopic when it comes to age. They don't have respect, but this is a good year for you to go back to school too. A friend that I know, well, he's older than me. He turned 80 years old, just graduated from some university in the South. Okay. In fact, it made the newspapers down there too. So it's never too late to learn. Okay. And plus you like to be different anyway. Okay. But your numbers are 4, 1, and 5. Thank you. Okay. Candace on this live stream. I have no idea what that might mean, Eartha. Thank you so much, Eartha. These are all my favorite. And Quintella, I read her last week. Okay. Thank you. Oh, yes, there is. If you're asking for this, there's a QR code. The QR code, as you see, is at the top right. Okay. Just click on the QR code. It'll open up with a calendar. Go to June the 3rd and sign in to join the group. But I can only take 10. I was going to try to take as many, and I said that's impossible to give it a couple of hours and try to answer everybody. Then everybody be like jockeying for time. So I want to do that. But 10 people I can handle very easily for those couple of hours and answer their questions without rushing. I can go into more depth about it. Also, other people you might want to know that you can't get here. So there's a big, big difference. So I'm telling you, ask me anything that I think I can intelligently answer. That's what is not said on here, but you can ask me anything. And if it doesn't make sense, I'm going to be honest and tell you I don't know. I'm not going to front. I don't do well trying to front. It's never worked for me. Okay. So I'm normally straight up. I'm very, very honest and direct. When the person spend their time and hard-earned resources with me, I am very forthright. That's the only way to be. And I'm not mean about it either. I try to use some common sense, some intelligence about it, but this is how it goes. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So Anthony Lee said the same thing. I just posted, now I'll post it again. It'll be, and you go to you go to sign up. The best to sign up on the QR code, or you can go to LLoyd-Strayhorn.com. That's LLoyd-Strayhorn, STRAYHORN.com. Okay. And if you can join Anthony Lee, that'll be good. That's where I can get in everybody's business without the whole world sort of being in your business. Just be a close group of 10. And then for those who can't get in, just say, I'll put you in for May, July, then August, September, October, November, until you say, listen, no more. But this way I can answer all the questions without being rushed. Okay. Okay. Jay McDonald, hi. Thank you so much. Okay. Now this is Marla. Marla is born June the 5th. Her mom is born July 3rd, and her dad is born April 28th, and her daughter is born on May the 12th. Okay. So Marla, here's how it goes. You are an air sign with an air number, which means your key numbers are the 5, the 6, and the 9. That's you. Your mom, July the 3rd. Her numbers are 3, 2, and 7. Totally different set of numbers. Now, this is not your mother, but that means you got totally different styles of how you'll roll. Okay. Then your dad, his numbers are April the 28th. He's a Taurus. His numbers are 1, 4, and 9. So you're getting the 9 from your father's side. That's just one number. But those are his numbers. And your daughter, bless her soul, her numbers are the 3, 6, and 9. So she's got 2 of your numbers. So I would say, I don't know what the father's birthday is, but I'd say your daughter looks more closer to you since she's got 2 out of 3 of your numbers. And you only have 1 out of your father's numbers and none out of your mother's numbers. And it ain't that your mother, it's not your mother. It's just what I'm saying, that if you two are not on the same page or don't see eye to eye with certain things, that would make sense. And yet y'all are very popular together. Y'all are well, like y'all got personal skills, but if y'all both having a bad day at the same time, it could be something else in the house. That's all I'm saying. And your daughter actually is born as a number 3, like her grandmother. So she probably gets along very well with her grandmother. And 3s like to talk too. So that means when your mother and your daughter get together, they be talking. Anyway, that's what I see. So I hope that helps you. Okay. See, I have to rush. And see, this way, when I get on this thing, I don't have to rush. I can really, y'all can take some notes and what's that you said, and what about my man, or what about my lady, whatever the case is. This is it. Okay. They are from Ghana. Also, read my second child who was born on. Now, because you are Ghanaian, normally in other countries, they put the date first, the month second. So if I wasn't conscious, I would say, oh, the child is a Scorpio 1. No, they would be a Capricorn master number 11, if I'm right. Okay. So I'm hoping I'm doing it right. So I'm going to do it a little bit both ways. If your second child is January the 11th, which I suspect, because once you're outside the United States, they always put the date first, then the month. Therefore, your child's numbers will be the 2, the 7, and the 8. Very sensitive, yet very pragmatic, very intuitive, very down to earth, very visionary, and yet very hardworking. That is your baby that just got here just 2 years ago. Okay. If, on the other hand, you said, I'm going to send it the American way, which is November 1st, your daughter, therefore, would be a Scorpio 1 person, which means you have a water sign with a fire number, and her numbers would be the 1, 4, and 9. But if she's the January the 11th, which I suspect her numbers would be the 2, 7, and 8. Okay. But whatever the case is, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whichever case, whether it's January the 11th or November the 1st, her destiny number, which is the month, the day, and the year she's born, is a number 1. So let her know she is born to lead. That is her destiny in this life. That is the purpose of the month, the day, and the year, to tell you what grade symbolically you are in the school of life. So therefore, she's in the first grade. And so you teach her, have her make decisions. You know, not now. She's just got here, okay? But later on, what kind of dress you want to wear. And you know what's appropriate and what's not. You know, what do you want to do? And this age, she grows, she's not afraid to make decisions, because that's part of where leadership come in. And a lot of times the decisions we make is we don't do anything, okay? So that's what I see. So those are her numbers, all depending. So let me kind of work backwards a second to make sure anybody who donated. Thanks, Marla. Thanks for the donation. Much appreciated. Advanced numerology. That's nice. December 24th. In fact, that's one of the rarest days to be born on, is the 24th of December. Did you know that? Okay. But anyway, I'm born in 1985 too. So you are earth sign with an earth number, very pragmatic, very grounded. Your numbers are the 6, 8, and 3. That means Fridays followed by Saturdays and Thursdays. Your best days in that order. And that means that this particular year, you are in a 9 personal year, a year to kind of wrap it up or get rid of anything or anyone that's kind of not like in your best interest. Okay. I'm going to do just a couple of more. And then this is Cosmic Sunflower. Your father's born December the 19th. His numbers, therefore, are the 1, 4, and 3. You're born on April the 6th. Your numbers are the 6, 9, and 3. So you have the 3 from your father's side. You don't know your mom. She passed early. Bless you. Do my numbers reflect any cosmic stuff I should be aware of? Actually, the 19 is the best day to be born on. This is the birthday of Martin Luther King's father, too. Martin Luther King Sr. was born on the 19th of December. This is a very fortunate birthday because it's a fire sign with a fire number, which means you should do things with passion and conviction. And you happen to be in a 4 personal year, which means this year you got to stay within the parameters, within the rules of the game. But a lot of things are going to be jumping off for you, in fact, next month. Because this month of May that we're finishing up practically tells me your attitude is, I don't need this, I don't need that, and I don't need you guys either. Because something new is about to happen for you in a matter of about a week and a half or 2. But your numbers are, no, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm reading your dad. Reading you now, get to you. So you are in a 1 personal year, which means new beginnings, new directions, new opportunities. And then you're in the month of May, which means you've been making some adjustments this month. And so that means in next month of June, that you're going to be making a transition about the way you've been doing some things. In fact, since I did that 6, 1 is 7, actually going to be going through a soul-searching reflective cycle. And I would say for this month of May that we're about to wrap up, you probably change your hair in some way, shape, or form. Okay. So thank you very, very much. But I want to just see, and Marla says, thank you, very accurate. Thank you, Ashe, with that. Okay. See, that's interesting. See, remember I said that the daughter, because she's a 12, and the mother, now the daughter's a 3 or 21 or 3, and the mother is a 12, that because they're at the same numbers. And she says, my mom had passed, but everyone says my daughter acts just like my mom. Well, they're both 3s. See, this is why I like this stuff, man. And it just helps people. That's all. So y'all don't walk around saying y'all crazy. Am I crazy? Ain't nothing wrong with y'all. And yes, she says she gets along best with her dad. Okay. Yay. Good. Okay. I'm just trying to go back to see if anybody made a donation so I don't leave them out. If so, I will catch up with them. All right. But I do want to thank every single one of you very, very much. And I think, listen, folks, please, can you join me here, please? And this way, it's just 10 at a time. It's nice to have a whole auditorium, but it ain't gonna roll like that. There'll be a lot of confusion. And so click on the QR code at the upper right corner of this promo. All right. You go to it, you'll see it opens up on the calendar. You go to June the 3rd and click on it, and then go down there. It's small compensation, that's all. But it allows me to not rush, allows me to take my time, and allows me to go more into the weeds, so y'all walk away with more intelligence and more understanding that if nothing else, y'all not crazy, okay? Because that's how people try to do. Well, there's something wrong with me. No, there's nothing wrong with us half the time. Other than the pressure that we're under, and things are about to get worse with them wanting to make $1 trillion cut in Medicaid and food stamps. There is something that's quite not correct. I'll say it like that. All right. Don't want to get into politics of all that, but anytime you're gonna, well, listen, let me stop right here. I want all of y'all to have a nice day, but before I go, I need to let you know that this has been brought to you by my sponsors, and I got to do that again to you, Juice. The juice is a great juice. My preference is the one to the left. Okay, that's really good, and especially when the chill is on it. Oh man, the only thing I wish is that the bottle was bigger. Okay, seriously, when you get your hands on it, I mean, it just fits so perfectly in your hand. When you drink it, you wish that thing was much bigger than what it is. Okay. So order it. Go to Levitt Store, LIVETSTORE.com. That's Levitt Store, LIVETSTORE.com. Also, thanks to Nicholas or Michelle, excuse me. Thank to Monique. Thank you for sponsoring the show. And they're now in business for over 50 years. And I was there this past Sunday. It was just the nicest thing. Of course, as soon as I got there, I started buying things. I mean, seriously, I walked out there with a whole bunch of stuff. But that's the kind of place you go into at 1396 Fulton Street. It's almost impossible to walk out that store without having something that you don't buy or purchase. I mean, they got it all. It's the most amazing store, but please go there. Also, Miss Kimberly, Manifest on Purpose. She has a weekly podcast called Weekly Wisdom. Also, Numerology Revealed. She's also offering a business astronumerology service. She is offering a consultant. If you got a business or want to start a business, and right now you kind of want to see where it goes and take a look at it, metaphysically speaking, she offers a service for, it's a pre-consultation. It's about 20, 30 minutes. Maybe I think it's 20, 30 minutes actually. And she'll give you an assessment, and then you can decide what you want to do, as she provides a number of services. So you see at the bottom of the ad is Kimberly.com, KIMBALEY.com, KIMBALEY. And then one of my favorites also is Numerologics with Queen B. She did a masterful job this past Monday on Malcolm X, whose birthday represented, he would have been 100 years old. And I mean, I stayed glued. Wow, all the details, all the things she found out. That was the most amazing thing. And part 2 starts at 8:30. All right. So for those who missed part 1, definitely don't miss part 2. Okay. You go right there. So, and I do want to say this again, and also Jazz Aphrodite's books, they're going. So you can either get the book on Audible, but you should have the book in your hands. Okay. So go to the bottom of it where it says jazzaphrodite.com. That's jazzaphrodite.com to purchase the book. Again, today and tomorrow is the last day. All 3 of my classes are on sale for under $35. It would tax maybe $40. Okay. This is better than breakfast for 2. Okay. Because breakfast is not cheap nowadays from what people tell me. Okay. When they go out. So they own all of my classes, Live with Lloyd series, Learn from Lloyd, How to Read a Person Like a Book, Learn from Lloyd, The Next Step in Numerology, and Learn from Lloyd, the do's and don'ts of numerology, with I co-produce with Jazz Aphrodite, okay, because she's the best at what she does too. So please, I think it is and by the way, all you got to do is go to Linktree/numbers in you, Linktree, linktr.ee/numbers in you, and sign up for either one. But at this price, you might as well get all 3, okay? Because you see separately, it would be far, far more. So get all 3. You own them. You go at your own pace. And that way, I think it's over tomorrow, but assume it's going to be today because sometimes my dates are off. I've got so much in my head. So let's assume that today's the last day and take advantage of it, okay? For those of you who would like my newsletter for the month of May, which is almost over. I'm about to work on June soon. Okay. The newsletters are absolutely free. All you got to do is go to Linktree, linktr.ee/numbers in you, and sign up. It's absolutely free. No, we do not sell your email list. No, I don't play that. Now, if I've got something going on like the group or whatever the case is, the social group that I'm just starting, the Q&As, if ask me anything, that's one thing. Or maybe Miss Kimberly, because we cooperate with each other and sponsoring each other's shows, that's fine. And for those of you who don't want to read the newsletter, you can hear what was said on an audio. And there you go to Kimberly, KIMBALEY_, and you get it there. And for those who want the whole year, in fact, I meant to play what I forecasted in May, and that's got quite a few responses, thousands and thousands of responses. But that's it, everybody. So I do want to thank you. And for those of you, my app is really improving by the day once I got all the drama out of the way. So for whether you're an Android user or an Apple user, just go there to the App Store, or you can go to astar8.com and sign on there. All right, everybody, I think I am finished, okay? I do want to thank you. I'll have a great, great weekend, everybody. You take good care of yourselves. And until then, bye.